Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. May I have your attention for why the session will begin shortly, and please mute your microphone and kindly turn on your camera throughout the events. And there is a code right now on the screen. So you need to enter this code in the link as the proof of your attendance, and the last code will be appearing after the session ends. And the link will be available in the chat box. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. A very good afternoon. May I have your attention for a while? So the session will begin shortly. Please mute your microphone and kindly turn on your camera throughout the events. And there is a code right now on the screen. So you need to enter this code in the link as a proof of your attendance. And the last code will be appearing after the session end, and the link will be available in the chat box. Thank you. All right, everyone. I just want to say to invite to all of you to follow our Facebook and Instagram page at AEFEP and also you guys can join our Telegram group, Accounting Week 2021. And also, don't forget to join our Instagram contest by tagging us at AEFEP on your story with hashtag SCWAwesome. And also, you guys can upload your interesting picture, a video or boomerang in your Instagram story by tagging us. All right, so don't forget. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the forum session with Kpmg Kpmg. I am Nur Sakina, and it is my pleasure to be your MC this evening. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this forum discussion. So, on this special occasion, we would like to have a discussion about Let's Venture with Kpmg. So moving right along, it is now my pleasure to introduce our guests, Mr. Chen Chi-kyung and Mr. Anil S.K. Nair, are representing KPMG as our speakers for this evening. Welcome, Mr. Chen Chi-kyung and Mr. Anil. Hello.
Hello, thank you for the invitation. I'm happy, to be in this call today. Hi.
All right. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our moderator, Muhammad Aizat bin Nizam Shah, and our panel, Mr. Chan Chi Kyong, to deliver the discussion.
Thank you.
Hello, can you guys hear me? If you guys can, please send me any reaction button like a love or thumbs up from the reaction button below. Right, cool. Yeah, everyone can hear me. All right, thank you, Sakina, for passing me the baton. Assalamualaikum and a very pleasant afternoon. I bid to Mr. Chan Chi Kyong, Mr. Anil, UKM lecturers and fellow participants. Welcome to the third forum of Accounting Week 2021 titled, Let's Venture with KPMG, a virtual industrial visit. My name is Aizat and I am the moderator for today. Thank you everyone for joining the forum today. We hope that this session will provide you with an overview of what it's like to work with KPMG Malaysia. We believe that this forum will give you guys insights on what to expect if you choose to be an auditor as your career path. I would like to remind the audience that we will be having a Q&A session right after the forum. If you wish to ask any question, feel free to unmute your mic and ask directly to Mr. Chan Chi Kyong. Alternatively, you guys can write down your question in the chat box and I'll direct them to the panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, the virtual industrial visit by KPMG aims to introduce KPMG to UKM accounting students. As one of the world's leading professional services firm, KPMG provides, among others, audit, tax, and advisory services where their professionals serve as trusted advisors to many of the world's largest and prestigious organizations. So before we begin the forum, we are honored to introduce you to our panelists for today, Mr. Chan Chi Kyong. A bit about Mr. Chan. Mr. Chan Chi Kyong is currently the audit partner in KPMG Malaysia. He has more than 20 years of experience with KPMG since he started his career in 1998. Mr. Chan was seconded to KPMG Chicago office under the KPMG Global Mobility Program from 2002 to 2004. He is also one of the partners in charge of the Global Japanese Practice Unit and the Corporate Solution and Innovation Department in Malaysia. For your information, Mr. Chi Kyong is an avid sportsman. He was the president of KPMG Sports Club from 2004 to 2015. He was also the partner in charge of KPMG Sports Club from 2016 to 2018. Welcome, Mr. Chi Kyong, to our forum today.
Yeah.
To break the ice, could you please tell us 3 fun facts about yourself that not many people know of?
Oh, fun facts. All right. Wow, you caught me by surprise. I thought it's not in the script. Just kidding, Isaac.
All right.
Fun fact. Now, actually, I may look. People who have not met me before, when they first see me, they thought I'm a very, very fierce person. I guess it's probably of the mustache, I think. Yeah, so but actually I'm quite a friendly person. I'm quite easy to deal with. And second, I think people find me very, they say that from far sometimes they thought that I'm a Malay. I don't know, but do you think that I look like a Malay? Ada tak sikit?
A mixture lah, a bit ambiguous lah.
Ambiguous, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last but not least, I'm actually a father of 3 boys, and my eldest son is actually studying in the university now. So can you guess that?
So you are around like late 40s, is it?
Correct. That's correct. That's
Late
correct.
40s,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
But you look quite young.
Oh, thank you very much. I was hoping that you would say that.
All right, cool. Okay, let's dive into the forum questions. All
Okay.
right. So we've received a lot of questions from the participants. Okay, the first question is, can you share your experience on how you get to this position? I mean, like you are now a partner in Kpmg. I mean,
Okay.
what did you study for your degree? When did you graduated? What was your first job? And then maybe what professional examination did you take?
Okay. I gotta go back a bit of history if you don't mind.
All right.
I was exposed to Kpmg Kpmg when I was doing my Form 6. That was in 1993 when Dato Hewley, he was a manager then, who came to our school to do recruitment. I think at the time we have this program called articleship, where right after Form 6, you will join an accounting firm or auditing firm, and then you do let's say I think then we are supposed to do MACPA. They call MACPA, not MICPA. Okay, so then you sign a contract with the firm, and the firm will provide you with a what they call the tuition fees, study leave, and you work at the same time. So, but however, I didn't pick up the offer because I got an offer from UKM, and I got into faculty of economy. I think at the time, faculty of economy and business management, they are both separated. So I think now I heard it's combined again.
Yeah, now it's combined together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's combined. So then I realized in faculty economy, I cannot do accounting. So that has prompted me to sign up ACCA part-time. So what I did is like in the morning, I will attend classes in FE, we call it FE, Faculty of Economy. So it comes to evening, I will travel to KL from Kajang using the KTM to do my ACCA class. So in 1998, I graduated at the same time, both with my degree in economics and also my ACCA qualification. And I actually major in economic and statistics. So it's actually quite different from what I'm doing now. So, and I joined Kpmg in, to be exact, it was on 15 October 1998.
Wow, you still remember the exact date?
Yes, because it's something like, that's my first job. So, I always hold that very close to my heart. And in fact, I actually spent about 5 months right after Form 6 in 1993 to 1994 in Kpmg as an intern. So that gave me a bit of like an experience, especially on how auditing is like. And I guess I must have fell in love with audit, and I went back, despite not able to what they call use my degree in UKM, but I took up ACCA to ensure that I'm able to join Kpmg, because with a degree in economics, it's quite difficult.
Oh, that's very interesting. So it's you're actually like killing two birds with one stone lah. Like you're doing
Yes,
both
yes.
together. Oh, very
And
interesting.
it's possible because you see, I think for UKM exam, the exam is always like if it's first half, it's always sometimes in April or May again. And then the next one will be
end of the semester, right?
correct. So ACCA so happened that the exam is in June and December. So during the holiday, I will be like concentrating on my ACCA exam. And after the exam, then I'll start the next semester. So likewise for December. So for the 4 years, again, I mean, I don't really get to travel lah, because every time when people go for holiday, I'll be like, hey, I got exam coming. But I think it's worthwhile. It paid off. So I actually managed to graduate both like at the same time. So I think that's something that I felt it's a great achievement for me. I mean, looking back, it's like almost 20 years ago.
Oh, that's very inspiring. So, ladies and gentlemen, for information, Mr. Chi Kyong is one of our alumnus. So we should be like very proud and inspired to be as successful as he is right now. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to my next question. Personally, what is the most valuable thing for you A, a stable and happy career, B, an excellent education, or C, experience?
Okay, I mean, I will split this into three parts. Now,
Mhm.
as a student, I think for you guys right now, I think education is the most important because you want to do well, and with that degree, that's like your entry ticket to the working world. Because the screening of CVs, you all start with your qualification. If you do well, of course, your CV will be on top or being shortlisted. So now, as you come off uh, to the working world, then of course, pick the right career and stick with it. And this is where, let's say you guys graduate at the age of 23. So for the next 10 years, I think your focus should be on building a career. That means don't think about making big money and all that. I think, but that you should focus on building a career because that will lay the foundation for the next stage of your life. And if you have reached my stage, for me now, I'm thinking more on okay, how do I now further enhance my career through experience? I think experience counts a lot when you come to the later stage of your career, where you have learned all the technical things, but now it's all about experience now. So they are all
So,
equally important, but at different stages.
equally important at different stages of life.
Yeah,
Very
that's correct.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, right? When you did your ACCA together with your degree at the same time, did you like have a doubt about yourself? Like, can I do this, or I might fail, but I'm just gonna do it as anyhow.
Um, you see, when I have decided to do that, I think
Mm-hmm.
I just stay on course. Just just bulldoze through whatever obstacles, I'll try to overcome it, so that I don't get distracted. So people may think that I'm crazy, but I thought, look, if you have set your target, let's do it, no matter how difficult, but just find ways to overcome. Because then you won't give yourself reason not to do it. So that's how I think I pushed through the 6 semesters. Because at the time ACCA was divided into 6 stages. So yeah, that's how I completed it lah, in the 3 years, and not being distracted by the other, because there are people who say that, hey, you know what, you do like that, you may have to what they call forego your grades in the uni. Well, I got a second class upper.
Oh,
uh,
that's very
I
good.
think
You,
I
you
think it's on the
balance both well, yeah.
correct. So and then I managed to pass my ACs at the same time. So for at least when I joined KPMG, I'm one person who has no more exam burden. I went in as I've completed everything. So whatever things that you can let me do, I'll do it. I don't have to go for study leave. When people go study leave, I'll be in office working. Yeah, so I think that's one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. Although it was at the beginning, like doubtful whether it will leak doing two at the same time, but it's possible. It's possible.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you took up both, did you get any advice from anyone, or did you did your own research on how to do both at the same time?
I think mostly all with my ex-girlfriend. Not now, she's my wife.
Oh, no, she's
So
good.
so we actually try to figure out especially the timing. So can you imagine normally the ACC class in KL starts at 6 o'clock. So I have to leave Bangi or Gajah maybe by 5 the latest. So I have to try to manage lah. So it's possible. It is possible. Yeah.
So
So
I'm guessing that you learned a lot about time management as well when you studied both, right?
time management, and also we need to learn to forego some of the things that you want to do, but you can't do it. Like you have to trade. There's a trade-off. You can't have the best of both worlds.
Is it like the opportunity cost, right?
Correct. It's
Right,
like
yeah.
I'll be so jealous, like, oh yeah, this guy is going for his vacation, but I'm like, I got exam, I can't do anything. So for the 3 years, I really, really focus. So I don't have an opportunity to really travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to keep the ball rolling, the next question is, what is your greatest strength?
I think determination is one, and I think I can be a workaholic. Or the
Wow.
nicer way to put it is a hardworking.
Hardworking.
I think once you put your mind on something, you need to stay focused so that you don't get distracted and you complete it. Because sometimes distraction also can be very damaging, and it will then affect your direction. You're not certain. Can you imagine just uh, you watch the badminton game, right? Recently, or England. The moment you hesitate whether to take the shot or not, that's how you lose your points. So you shouldn't be, once you decided to take it, you take it. Yeah, don't hesitate. So that's what I have learned.
Yeah, that's a very good advice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
should do that more. All right. Okay, moving on. How did you pick up interest in the accounting path as you were an economic graduate? I mean, like, yeah, because you said before, after finishing your Form 6, you were offered to work in a firm.
Yeah.
And then you decided to do your degree, but then you decided to also do your professional paper as well.
Yeah. You see, I grew up, I'm a Gen X. So I grew up with the idea that, they always say accountants would have the safest job, because whether in good times or bad times, you still need accountants. So that's how, I guess job security is one. But as I started to my venture in accounting, I realized that it's actually much more than that, especially on in audit. In audit, we jump from one job to another job, and they're all different businesses and in different industries. So I realized that that provided me with a lot of opportunity to learn, to see different things, to understand like, oh yeah, how is this business conducted, and most importantly, meeting new people, widening my network. So that's where I felt like, wow, this job is really enriching, both professionally and also personally. So I also learned to interact with people from different backgrounds. I mean, we don't just confine ourselves within the accounts and finance, but we do talk to people from the sales, from the production. So you know people from various background, and then they tell you different things, different stories. When we ask the same question, so it's very interesting, and I learned a lot, I must say.
Okay, from what you said just now, you jumped from one job to the other. I mean, like from one engagement to the other, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
you have to deal with a lot of clients. I mean, like dealing with one person is very tough. Sometimes it's like very taxing. And then how do you do it? Like, how do you adapt to different kind of environment, and then you like how you submerge into different working culture?
Okay, I think when we enter into a new, let's say to a new client, I think first we must be very open. Let's not have any prejudice first. Be open, be humble. I think that's a correct traits to approach. As you get to know them better, I think this is where you will find that uh, it's quite easy to deal with uh, people from various backgrounds. If you maintain an open mindset, and be humble, I think people will accept you quite easily. So that's how I started.
So be humble, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
Okay.
guess it's a Asian culture, I think.
Asian culture. All right. Okay, the next question is, from your profile, you've worked abroad for 2 years.
Yes.
And then why did you choose to come back to Malaysia after finishing your secondment?
Okay. I think there are three main things now. Now I've done that. I've worked in Chicago. I've seen my first snow. The fall season and all that. I think it's like you have tasted it, you have done it. I think I enjoyed it. But I think what really motivate me to come back is still one is family. I still have a family here in Malaysia. Of course, our friends, and lastly is the food. I mean, the craving for food is really, really bad at US. I mean, there's like, yeah, you can get some Malaysian food, but first it's overpriced, then tak sedap. You're like, this is like, so stressful. So you want to have some comfort food in overseas is quite difficult. So that's why I decided that I think I will come back. I mean, after the 2 years.
Interesting. And then when you were working in Chicago, what was the most challenging part for you working there 2 years?
Okay, I went there with my wife and my newborn. He
Your
was like
first
first
son.
first son. So he was like 2 months old. So being in a foreign place, with a new family, uh, um, it was like quite chaotic. Like access to medical. In Malaysia, if you feel you're not well, you just can go to a clinic. But in US, it's different. You have to call your physician first. Then they got to do some diagnostic over the phone before they refer you to a emergency room. So anything that is normal, they ask you to go to the pharmacy and buy medicine from over the counter. But for me, dealing with a newborn, it was like, hey, how? You want to go and see a doctor immediately. So it was quite a challenge then. And trying to get your way around during winter is also a nightmare. By 3 o'clock, it's all gelap already. You're like, how? It's like you're in a different place. Without much help. So I think that's the big challenge. But luckily, my wife, she's supportive enough, so we managed to pull through the 2 years. I mean, in that respect, of course, in other areas we have our fun time as well. Like learning about a new place, the way of life, the culture, and the food and things like that.
Interesting, very interesting. Yeah, I'm so jealous of you, like getting to touch your first snow, right?
Oh yeah, it was quite fun first saw it, but 2 months down the road you realize, oh, this is so annoying.
It's enough lah.
Yeah, because the temperature can go below zero, as in zero
Wow.
0 Fahrenheit. That means it's minus Celsius, like minus 15.
minus Celsius.
Yeah.
Oh, very cold. Wow. Very challenging. Okay. Next is, can you share with us the working environment and culture in KPMG Malaysia?
Okay. Now in my first experience with KPMG, it was really the people. I think the people that work there. So it is in a way less formal. They are and they're quite open in their dialogue. So to me, in a communication, so I felt like working in a family, because we spend quite a lot of hours together. So and we're quite close in a sense. And
So the bond between the team
the
members.
people, the team members, and we help out each other. Whenever someone has problem, let's say if you are overworked or you are struggling with certain areas, we do redeploy our people so that to help out. So this is why I think one of the reasons why I joined KPMG, and also in a way mold me to who I am today. Yeah.
Interesting. And then when you compare the working environment 10, 15 years ago and now, is it different, or is it still quite the same?
I think last time it's like we have less IT tools to help us in audit. If you talk about the work, I think audit is still audit, but just that the way we do it now may be a bit more different. In the past, I have my pencil with me, an eraser, but now I have a laptop. Yeah, last time I have
So
to,
before this, when you do audit, you do it on a paper, is it?
yes. All the documentation, and we do not have the what they call the luxury of a spell check or a grammar check. So lah, sometimes our English berterabur, right? So we also kena comment out. Is how we learn from that. But now with the technology, I think it helps quite a lot, and the way you document your work. Even the whole, I think, audit methodology is now embedded in the auditing tools, so that you don't miss out things. In the past, it's just we call it a pink sheet, where it's an audit program, so you follow lah. But now I think we all through it's a computer. I think everyone has a laptop now.
All right. Very interesting. And then when you say that the transition between the technology, right? So now everything is more computerized, and then we also have AIs to help us with the computations and stuff, right? And then do you think in the future accountants and auditors might lose their job because of the advancement of technology?
I think every one of us, I mean, be it a business or individually, I think we are all affected by IT. That's the biggest disruptor. But I think from the accounting's perspective, I think, like, okay, let's say audit. For audit, I
Audit,
think
yeah.
we need to embrace IT, because now the way we do our work now is more of using IT tools instead of in the past we do some random sampling and that kind of thing. Now it's like I can do a full audit on the population using IT tools. Now, whether it will completely take over our job, uh, I don't think so, because there are still areas where judgment or interpretation is involved. So the one, I guess, machine cannot take over yet until you can have a machine that can have emotion and rationalization. Then perhaps it will be a different thing. But I don't think it will be for now. But it's just that the level of assurance that you can give from the auditing standpoint, it can be higher. Because can you imagine now I can do an audit on the entire population instead of sampling.
Sampling, right?
Correct, yeah. So
Very
this is
interesting.
where we are moving towards.
So it means that the quality and the assurance given by the audit firm to the client would be better, right?
That's correct. We can actually give more insights. That means we can analyze, let's say, a payment to or purchase to pay process. We can have more in-depth analysis, and then we can actually churn out like trends and all that. Then you can tell like, hey, what's happening. It gives more business insight, just rather than just a final result of the audit. Okay, everything is okay, but within the process, what is in there, we can't actually share. But now we can. So that's the right time for you guys who are IT savvy. This is the best time of the
The best time to shine, right?
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
All right. So the next question, when you started working, I mean, as an audit junior, what was the biggest obstacle that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
As a junior, I think when during my time, when I first joined, we didn't really we were not given like a formal training before we go to the field work. So I think now the firm has a very structured training. That means anyone who have just joined, and if you have not gone through the training, you're not allowed to go to the field. So
Wow.
last time, right? You have this joke. They always say, "Hey, why does the auditor cross the road?" Oh, because last year's file says so. Because we always refer to the last year's file. There's this joke. So okay, yeah, that's how we learn last time. Then the senior asks you, "Look at last year's file, lah." Okay. Then you try to figure out life. But now I think we realize that this is not the best way, because we also promise that quality to our client. So we want to make sure that first we hire the right people, and then we train them first before we let them out for field work. I think that's what we are doing now. So at least you don't go out there like blur, still like trying to figure out what to do. And look at last year, most people try to figure out why. So now you have training, formal training, to make sure that you're prepared, and you'll be given a section that you can do. I think that will that's something that's changed. I mean, with IT, with the investment that the firm has put in training our people to up the quality. So I think this obstacle is no longer an obstacle for me.
So that is the challenge when you were an audit junior. And now as a partner, what are the challenges that you are facing?
As a partner,
As a partner, yeah.
I think this work-life balance. I think you can never get it right. It's like is it 50-50 or 60-40, or I don't know. I can never get it right. So I'm still struggling trying to find that point, because we have deadlines sometimes. Sometimes deadlines require us to work weekend, but let's say like I have a deadline coming up 2nd April. So the last weekend, I actually, I mean, though I work from home, but I burn habis. So it's like but at least my family is understanding, so they let me, they know that I have a deadline to chase, so they let me do that. So but when it comes to time when I'm free, now I'll make sure that I take rest, I take vacation, I take annual leave to in a way
compensate.
compensate, like, yeah, that's correct. So it's a struggle. I mean, people will tell you they can reach what they call a work-life balance. I find it quite difficult because I have worked for so many years. I still find it hard to reach that point. Where is that point?
It's the point where it's balanced, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So the pandemic has been with us for more than a year now. And then I believe that, I think Mr. Anil told us that Kpmg is working from home since last year. So working from home, do you think that your working time increased or decreased or maintained the same?
Actually, you think about the time saved from traveling, that's at least 2 hours already. So I think all in all, maybe my working time is reduced, maybe for me, I find, because by 5:30, sometimes I could just go to the kitchen and help out my wife. Yeah, I couldn't do that in the past, but now I could do it. Then after dinner, I can still come back to my work to continue, because after 8 hours of screen time, you also need the rest, right? So I think
rest and then like exercise a bit.
Correct. So that's like in a way I can have a little time off, but doing something that I won't be able to do during if I work in office. I mean, a little help that I guess my wife will appreciate, like.
Interesting. I mean, and then the next question, as an avid sportsman, what kind of sports do you like doing? I mean, like, do you do sports for fun or competitively, or like just to get your sweat out or something like that?
Okay, now for this I must tell you some history. I think Kamsis F is Rahim Kajai again.
Rahim Kajai.
Yes, I came from Kamsis F. So I'm a lontar peluru. Athlete.
Wow, strong.
Yeah. So in fact, I think I got second for 2 years in representing Kamsis F. And Kamsis F, I think, has a slogan for Kecemalangan dalam sukan, right? I think still the same slogan. Is the same?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that was like 25 years ago. And I think I still hold the school record and also inter-accounting firms record. Yeah, until I think recently, somebody broke my record. I think I've held it for at least 10 over years.
Wow, that's a very long time.
Yeah. So that's my. In fact, if I can, I still want to continue to take part. But my wife will always laugh at me, like say, "Hey, that tua bangka."
She's very concerned, right?
But the age is old, but the heart is still young.
Yeah, and then the face is still young as well.
Oh.
And then for the inter-accounting firms games, right? Do they have it every year or like once in 2 years?
It is every year, but it's very unfortunate because of COVID-19. Last year tak ada. I think this year also unlikely.
Depends on the situation, right?
I think if you look at the vaccination, I don't think it will be done until next year. So we hope next year, 2022, this thing will come back again. IFG is a fun event where the auditing fraternity will all come together, and that's where I met a lot of people from the other firms, and also broaden my social circle. It's a fun time, but I miss it for 2 years already.
So everyone out there, if you guys are very good in sports, you guys should join Kpmg, and then like during interview, maybe you guys can tell, oh, I'm very good in badminton, so I'll be an asset to Kpmg, right?
Yes. We will love that.
All right. Okay. So the next question is, most of us are well informed that the auditor's job is quite stressful and then sometimes very demanding. What did you do to keep yourself motivated? And what is your mechanism to avoid overworking yourself?
I think you must always try to prioritize your work.
Mhm.
You list down all your work, then you make a see which is the one that you need to do first. With a clear mind, then you know like, okay, what needs to be addressed. And also we try to pace ourselves so that we don't like overwork. And last but not least, seek help.
Seek help.
So don't just die in one corner, quietly, but raise your hand, ask for help. We in Kpmg, that's how we work. So when we see certain team is struggling, we will try to chip in like by getting our staff redeployed to help. So I think that's how we make sure that everyone gets to go home not too late, and now avoid over working. I guess we gotta know when to shut our computer down. I think it's very important. And take rest, exercise, go for vacation if you can. We do what they call respect, time that you have blocked for your annual leave. Once you have blocked that, we will make sure that you go for your break.
Very interesting. And then may I know what are the steps taken by KPMG in overcoming this problem? I mean, like the overwork problem. I mean, like what has KPMG done to encourage the employees to manage their stress better?
This one, I mean, if Ane can chip in also, but I think now that we have the capability to work from home, I think it helps a bit also, especially if you have working mothers, so they can actually do some juggling a bit lah. That means they can also spend some time with the kids at home and so work at the same time. The other things, I think we also have a lot of activities organized by our people, performance and culture. Activities that like even a simple quiz. I think recently we just have a quiz on our culture and things like that, so it helps. Maybe Annie got something. I mean,
So thank you, Chee Kiong. So basically, we have a team that is in charge of to keep our employees engaged. It's called the Talent Engagement and Communications Team, where they organize a list of activities. So even if you look at International Women's Day, they had like yoga, they had like exercise, burnout activities, and these are the activities that we will do throughout the year, right, to keep our employees engaged, not just bringing the best talents into the firm, but also trying to retain them and coming up with fun activities apart from just our CSR activities as well.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, moving on to the next question, Mr. Chee Kiong. Since you are an experienced auditor, what do you think of UKM students and graduates as new auditors, trainees, interns in KPMG? I mean, is there any room for improvement that UKM students should start working on now?
I'm not sure if is English is still a core subject in UKM. I mean the VG series.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Yeah.
No more. But I thought there's a requirement to do. I mean, in my time they have like some requirement to do like a certain English papers. After that, then they will ask you to do public speaking and then business writing and things like that.
I believe that they have the minimum requirement for English exams.
Okay.
I think that's the thing.
Okay. Now, what I find in most of our local graduates, I think maybe it's because of a lack of confidence. I mean, they don't speak a lot outside. I mean, especially in the workplace. So you need to stand out. So you need to be able to carry out conversation. You need to be able to speak confidently. I think that will help in the career because can you imagine that every year we hire about 400 over people? I mean, how do one gets noticed? I think you have to be vocal. You have to be confident, speak up, so that you are noticed. Don't just be a doer. You want to be someone who can articulate your
lead as
thoughts.
well.
Correct. So I think all our UKM students are very good academically. I think this is the part where maybe shy, I guess. So, but yeah, let's have that try to do more, speak up more, I think that will definitely help to make you more stand out from the crowd.
Stand out
Yeah.
from the crowd, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, is there any difference? In your expectation and the reality of the career path that you have chosen? I mean, like when you were learning, you thought maybe like, auditing is fun, and then when you work, it's like, auditing is very dull or something.
To be honest, when I look at this audit report that we signed, that's like our final deliverable. When I was like a junior, I always think, wow, when would I reach the stage where I will sign on this report? So, it was like, okay, now that I have reached that stage, I realized, actually to reach to this final stage, it takes a lot of work. It's not as easy as we thought. A lot of work is really involved. But nonetheless, I find that it is certainly there are a lot of things that I've learned lah. From doing audit of different businesses and industry, and actually until today I'm still learning, like all these things about this fintech or all this IT thing about blockchain. To me, I'm still trying to like figure out things, and Bitcoin. We gotta embrace and we gotta continue to learn, because if not, we'll be left out. So actually, it's much more than I expected, honestly, than just signing the audit report.
Audit
It's much
report.
more than that. Yeah, it's much more than that.
Much more than that.
And I find that if I can give any advice to the client in terms of management letter points, I find that that will give some value to the client. Let's say we found that certain processes are not working, so we raise it as a management letter point. So I think the client really appreciate those observations, and to them they see that as like, oh, this is a value add that you've given me on top of the audit report.
So that's why clients are very like they put a lot of trust in KPMG, right?
Yeah,
Because,
that's all.
The added values, right?
Correct, because we have seen a lot of we have experience. In my entire life at KPMG, I've audited like hundreds, if not thousands of clients. So it's different things that I've learned. So then the client that you're auditing now, can tap into that knowledge base by you providing them with some like input, like, what, this process could have been done this way, based on my experience with another client. I think these are things that they appreciate. Oh yeah, because they don't have access to the kind of database. So we have that knowledge, so we can actually share that with them. So they really appreciate the input that given them. That's like a in a way it's like a byproduct from audit, but they appreciate the byproduct as well.
Very interesting. And then moving forward, what are your career aspirations?
I guess for me now, I'm happy with what I'm doing now, but I do certainly hope that I can contribute to the accounting profession. Sharing my experience with you guys. I'm more than happy. I just want to be able to give back to the society. At least you guys, when you when you enter the profession, you know what you are signing up for lah. Unlike in the past for me, I agak-agak aja. So things turn out to be okay. It's like, oh, okay, safe, but it's more like taking the leap of faith, in the past. But now I hope I can share that so that you guys will make a more informed decision when you pick the profession like audit.
That's very good. All right. And then last but not least, do you have any advice for UKM students as an alumnus? And do you mind sharing your favorite motivational quote?
Okay. I think working in KPMG is certainly rewarding from the professional development aspect as well as financially. And working in the real world is tough. Be prepared to work hard if you want to succeed. And my favorite quote, even I tell my boys this, is like always give your best in whatever that you do. Okay, so that one day when you look back, you don't regret because you have given your best.
All right. So thank you very much for the lovely advice. All
No
right.
problem.
Now we move on to the Q&A session.
Okay.
So if you guys wish to ask Mr. Chi Kyong questions directly, please unmute your mic, state your name and year, and shoot your question. Alternatively, you guys can write down the question in the chat box below. All right. So if you guys have any question, you can just turn on your mic. But now with me, I have one question from Shafiq. How to handle stress or pressure while working?
Don't treat the stress as stress. Look at it from a different angle. All right. And always count. I think this is very important. Don't blow up instantly. Step away. Then you realize that whatever storm that comes, you will clear one. You will get through it one. So don't don't explode the moment that you are faced with challenges. I think staying calm is very important. Walking away is important. Try to like diffuse it sometimes. So that's how I manage it. Because sometimes file that come in, and then the deadlines from client and all that. I normally take a deep breath. And I was like, okay, calm down. What's the worst? You get scolded by a client. Can that kill you? It won't, right? Okay. Then come back to this, how to solve this. Focus on the solution instead of the problem.
Focus on the solution. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a very good advice.
Don't get into you're so into the problem that you cannot see the solution. And stay calm, okay? I think that's very important. You don't want to burst your any of the vessel in your brain.
All right, thank you. Okay, next question from Sari Nirwana. Hello, Mr. Chi Kyong. What do Kpmg look for in an intern?
I think if you're willing to learn, I think hardworking and committed, I think there's a good traits that we want, because I always believe that even if you're not good, but if you're willing to learn, you'll become good. So an intern, when you come in, you're supposed to learn. So because you're supposed to know about the profession, learn, then you can at least then know what to expect if you were to join Kpmg or even another audit firm.
Okay. Next question is, Mr. Chi Kyong, can you walk through us your daily routine before and during the pandemic?
Okay. Before the pandemic, I used to go to the gym like in the morning.
The morning before work.
Yeah, before after I send my kids to the school, that I'll drop by the gym for at least an hour. Then I will go office lah. So I'll stay in office. I'll leave office about 7:30. So that I can beat the jam, the traffic lah. But with this pandemic now, okay, first no gym. So what I'll do is like I will just take a walk around the park nearby where I stay. No more lifting, those are maybe some push-up lah, because you can see the muscle also now like flabby already.
It contracts a bit, right?
Contracts, and so it become like very soft already. And also I guess the working from home bit, I think I also try to do like 1 to 2 days working from home to spend time with the kids lah. And yeah, it's not easy working from home, honestly, because it's like first I don't have a proper place, working place at home. I mean, to me, working should be in office. So I'm also adapting to the change lah. And if I can, I would really love to go to UKM to meet with you guys, personally, because then I can connect to you better. Because right now, I can only see a couple of faces, and most of that I'm focusing on you, Aizat. So I cannot see how's the reaction for the others, and lacks this human interaction. This is where like I want to salam, you still cannot now because of the
because of the COVID.
Yeah,
right?
so it's like it's just not me, but yeah, I hope you will get through this very quickly, and I hope you guys have registered for your vaccination.
Yep, we have. I believe all of us have registered for it. And then I'm sure that in the future, the UKM also will arrange another session with Kpmg and also yourself for a physical session.
Yeah.
All right. The next question: what are the employer or senior auditor expectation from fresh graduate?
From fresh graduate.
Mhm.
I think uh, I think it still come back to the working attitude is important. I think the attitude. I think you must be prepared to. I think the working hard. I think that goes without saying. Committed to the job, and a team play is very important because when you do an audit, right? Audit is like a audit of financial statement. So we will normally split the section into various parts. The harder, the more critical ones will be done by the senior, and then the more junior will do the less. But then when you put them together, it becomes an audit file for your managers to review and your partner, and eventually we will give an opinion. So I think teamwork is also very important be able to work together.
All right. So the following question from Zulaika Ain: what is the biggest lesson you've learned throughout your years in UKM?
The biggest lesson learned came. I should have studied better in my Form 6 so that I could get into FPP, Fakulti Pengurusan Perniagaan. Therefore, I don't have to do ACCA. Because I think right now, I think Faculty Economy and Faculty Pengurusan Perniagaan is now combined and called Faculty Economy and Pengurusan. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I should have studied more, I guess, better so that I could join FEP then, so I don't have to Nonetheless, that's the reminder that I have in my mind. That's why I have to do ACCA, and that's how it kept me going, and that's how I completed, I guess. So yeah, that's my biggest lesson. And I think the other part is guys, learn to enjoy because you will miss your uni life a lot, a lot. I'm missing it a lot, a lot. Okay, uni life is the best of the best.
Less
Yeah.
problem, right?
Yeah, I mean the problems that you're gonna handle is totally different. I mean,
No
uni,
commitments yet. Yeah.
No commitments yet.
uni life is like so carefree. I mean, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I mean, main bola, go, and then what you guys still eat at the Pusat Nikah, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we still go there, yeah.
Yeah, Pusat Nikah, and there's a gym right at the lowest ground, right? The lowest basement. Right? Still
I
there?
think they've closed the. I'm not sure about that. I think they've
Oh,
closed the
okay.
gym, right?
Okay, there used to be a gym there. Then your library, Tun Sri Lanang library.
Yes,
Right?
the
Okay.
Tun Sri Lanka Library, yeah.
Yeah. So I really miss it. And also Club Recreasi UKM. Oh, that's the best with a swimming pool. And still there, right?
Oh yes, there's a swimming pool there, yeah.
Yeah. So enjoy, guys. I mean, this the I think I have great time during my youth. I mean, and take the opportunity to also mix with people from the other faculty. I think as you move forward in your career, you realize that all these connection networks will come in very handy going forward.
All right. So the last question of today, what is the most noticeable differences of working environment in Malaysia and other countries that you've been?
Okay, now this is I'm comparing something that's 20 years ago. Now, okay, when I was in the Kpmg, I worked with those partners. They are like from the 60s or 50s. So in Malaysia, the partners really scolded us. So really cow. But in overseas, it's a different way of scolding. But they don't scold you. There's no verbal kind of abuse, but they'll tell you in a more polite way.
More polite way.
Okay, but things have changed since then. I think now the older partners have retired. So now we have all the 70s, the 60s. I think the 60s also some are retiring slowly already. So now we have the 60s, 70s. So they are not so they're more different. The older partners are really difficult to deal with. Then
Very
kena
tough
marah,
lah.
are very tough. And you sure kena marah. It's like, don't kena marah means something is wrong already. So so I've been through that. and I've seen how it's like in the States. And I think now we are also in a way changing that, because I think if there's something that we don't like being treated, so we try not to do that to our next generation, and we always want to make sure that we the firm is better than the year before. We want to continuously improve the firm culturally or professionally, and also the environment. Have you been to Kpmg office before?
We haven't, but we've had a lot of session with Mr. Anil. He's like, we've been there. Yeah, he shared a lot with us, but physically we haven't been there.
Okay, I think hopefully when the situation becomes better, I think you need to come to the office, because we have also changed quite a bit lah. And then I hope it's more appealing to you guys. Are you guys supposed to be the millennial? No, I think what, close to 90s the late 90s kan?
Some of us are late 90s and early 2000s. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think majority of us were born in the year 2000. Yeah.
2000. Oh, okay, okay. During the Y2K lah. Yeah, we had a hoo-ha in the Y2K thing during the audit, because we weren't sure whether the computer system is configured properly because of the year digit. 9900 means what? You go back to 1900 or go to 2000. So that time it was a big hoo-ha lah. It's a big hoo-ha. Wow.
Interesting.
Reminds me of my age now. I feel old.
All right. Okay, so that last question marks the end of our forum today with Mr. Chan Chi Kiong. We would like to say thank you to Mr. Chi Kiong and also Mr. Anil for joining us for today. We are so honored to have the opportunity to have you in one of our fora, and then we hope that in the future we can have you again for a physical session in UKM. Yeah. So we definitely learn a lot from your experience and your wisdom. Thank you, Mr. Chan Chi Kiong. Thank you, Mr. Anil, and thank you, everyone. So I'm passing back the floor to Sakina. Cheers.
All right. Thank you, Isaac, and our panel, Mr. Chan Chi Kiong. Before we end this slot, we would like to request the honorable guest to join our photography session. So all of you, you may turn on your camera. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Turn on your camera. Because the photo will upload on the official Instagram page, Kpmg Malaysia. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, ready guys, 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Chi Kiong.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an honor for me to be here, and I hope I can continue to contribute to UKM, my altimeter. All right, see you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. So based on today's forum session, hope all of us can take notes on the most important thing or topic that I know affect all of us here, and also hope we can make a good decision in the future based on the discussion. For Mr. Chi Kiong, the token appreciation will be sent to your company. We look forward to seeing you at the next year's event. So ladies and gentlemen, the forum session ends here, but we will take a short break before the next informational session. And again, for our guests, we are very, very thankful to have you here and for your sharing also the detailed information about Kpmg. All right, to Mr. Chi Kiong, you may leave the session. Thank you so much. Again, again, we will be taking a short break before continuing with the next informational session by Mr. Anil. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere, okay? Because we will be back soon. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. Hello and good evening to all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We will resume with our informative talk with Mr. Anil Eskenair from Kpmg. Welcome, Mr. Anil. Hello.
Hi.
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 Right.
Thank you very much.
Right, moving right along, it is now my pleasure to introduce our guest, Mr. Anil Eskenair, who representing KPMG as our speaker for this Anil. Mr. Anil joined KPMG Malaysia's Talent Attraction and Branding team as Senior Executive in July 2019. Now he is the consultant in talent engagement who leads the branding team focused on talent engagement and communication with students, universities, and professional bodies. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our honorable guest, Mr. Anil Eskinai.
Thank you very much, Sakina. Can you guys hear me clearly? If you can hear me, can you just place number 1 in the chat box? Great. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. All right. So I'm going to share my slides. Do you see the slides now? Sakina, do you see the slides?
Yes, I can see the slide.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you very much. Right. So a very good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Anil. I am the consultant talent engagement at KPMG Malaysia. So basically part of my role, I actually oversee all the branding initiatives and student engagement activities. At the same time, I support the recruitment team as well that covers all business function. So earlier this now you had Mr. Chi Kyong, who is also our partner in KPMG Malaysia. So he's part of the audit service line. And it's an honor to actually have him to share his experiences with you. Part of my role, what I've done is I've actually been conducting a lot of workshops. I do support universities when it comes to strategic engagements. I've done close to about more than 500 of various physical and virtual workshops. On a day, in an average basis, we have at least 2 workshops. And I'm also the main liaison person for the ambassadorship program. I oversee the special program called the ACE Advisory Program. And I also work closely with government agencies to equip graduates and also experience hire with the necessary skills and competency according to the industrial demand today. So my question to all of you on the call today, so I know that a majority of y'all come from the accounting background and some of y'all from the business and economics background as well. My question to you is, are you the clear choice, right? If you're going out to look for an internship, if you intend to join KPMG after hearing to Mr. Chi Kyong's story, so my question to you is, are you the clear choice? And the next question would be, do you have a story to tell, right? So I strongly believe that every student, it doesn't matter on which industry that you would like to join, very important for you to have a story to sell, right? And how do you brand yourself? It's also very, very important. It's an added advantage to you because you must understand in today's situation, it's very challenging, right? Because of the current economic situation, some firms may not be hiring. How do you stand out as compared to the other graduates, right? So this is something that you have to ask yourself, and you also need to be out of your comfort zone and to identify skill sets that you can actually acquire in order for you to be well prepared for your future career. Right. So introducing to you the talent attraction and branding team at KPMG Malaysia. This is the first team that you will come into contact when you are actually applying to us for a graduate or be it an internship position at KPMG Malaysia. So each of us takes care of a specific role in KPMG, but ultimately we will be the first person that will be speaking to you pertaining to your interests when you intend to join KPMG as an intern or as a fresh graduate. Right. So moving on to the next introduction, it's actually our team's introduction video, right? I strongly believe that in order for us to keep ourselves updated and stay relevant, right, to the students out there, we also look into preparing our own TikTok videos, right, especially when it comes to team introduction video. And there will be a lot of exciting videos coming up this year for students to understand better about the services of KPMG and what we do as a firm as well. So do enjoy the video, a quick team introduction, so that at least you have an understanding on who are your potential recruiters at KPMG Malaysia. So it's a very simple video, just to let you know that we are always here for you, right? If you like to have a conversation with us, if you like to understand more about KPMG services or perhaps career opportunities, you can always reach out to our ambassadors, our dear ambassadors, the UKM ambassadors. At the same time, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn as well, right? So a quick run through of KPMG. KPMG is named after our four founders, which is Client Wealth, Pete Marwick, and also Kotler. We started off in a very small, humble beginning in Malaysia, right? Was established in 1928, and Ipoh was our first office. Yeah, so we had our first office in Ipoh, and over the years is where we have actually progressed, right? Not just in terms of the buildings, yeah, and the locations of our offices, but rather also in terms of the services that we offer to our clients. Today, we do not recognize ourselves as just an audit firm, but we have a lot more of other services that we offer to our clients, and we are known as a professional services firm at KPMG Malaysia. Right. In 2008 is where we moved into KPMG Tower. Like what Mr. Chikyong said earlier, there are a lot of differences now. If you would have, if you have attended a firm student visit last year or perhaps the previous year, if you were to come into KPMG today, we also have our own espresso lab that's offered to our employees, and each of them will get a 50% discount for their beverages that they buy at the espresso lab, right? And then we also have in 2008 is where we celebrated our 90 years anniversary in Malaysia, right? And that shows as a firm we are agile. We have been in the industry for a very long time, and we continuously develop ourselves, right? Talking about being resilient, right? Especially in adapting with the current technology, and to ensure that we remain the clear choice among the clients and to deliver quality services as well. So what is there to love at KPMG, right? We have the golden week off, the flexi working arrangement. KPMG was one of the first firms that implemented the golden week off, where apart from just your annual leave, all our employees are entitled to the golden week off, where a firm is actually closed for 1 week in September. And this leave is actually given to all our employees, right? It doesn't matter whether you are from the audit department, admin department, finance, advisory, or even tax, you will be enjoying this golden week off. And why do we give this golden week off is for our employees to enjoy their quality time with their family. We have the flexi working arrangement, half day festive eve leave. KPMGians also enjoy discounts at One Utama Shopping Center. And lastly is the coffee shop that we have at our own very own espresso lab at level 10, where it's only catered for our internal employees, our clients that visits us in the office, and also students that comes into the office as well. So these are some of the perks that we offer being part of the KPMGN family, right? And that's the beauty of working next to a shopping mall, right? Where you can actually be entitled to all the staff discounts, and you will be enjoying all the staff discounts as long as you are part of the KPMG family. So quick run through of our leaders at KPMG Malaysia. Yeah, so we have Datuk Johan, who is the managing partner of KPMG. I believe you would have seen our Instagram, right? KPMG Malaysia, where we officially signed an MOU, yeah, about 2 weeks ago with UKM. And so today, KPMG and UKM has a strategic relationship, and we want to ensure that we fully support UKM's initiative, and there will be lots of other activities that is being organized for UKM students. So do stay in touch and join our future events as well. So for each service line, we have a leader, right? So we have the head of tax, Mr. Tai Lai Kok, head of audit, we have Fu Man Kong, head of advisory, Chan Siu Mei. We have also our the head of people, which is Adrian Lee, and also he's the head of financial services, and he's also our audit partner at KPMG Malaysia. So in KPMG, what I wanted to also share with y'all is a structured career path, right? Where if you were to join the firm as an associate, right, as a fresh graduate, you are entitled to a very structured career progression. And that is why you see a lot of our managers are in KPMG. They're all very young, in the sense that they all, when they join the firm, it only takes them about 5 years in order for them to be a manager at KPMG Malaysia. And it is possible for you to really transition and progress your career really fast. It all depends on your performance, and how do you outshine yourself in the firm as well. So in KPMG, be it whether you join us as the audit service line, the tax service line, or the advisory service line, you are entitled to a career progression where from being an associate, you join us as an associate 2, you can actually be progressed into an associate 1. 2 years down the road, you are entitled to a promotion, which is a senior associate level, right? So that's the beauty of being in KPMG. And when it comes to a structured career progression, you are entitled to a very structured career progression where you can also be a partner at KPMG Malaysia, where it only takes you typically about 12 to 13 years in order for you to have such an achievement. So moving on to the functions and departments, right? I think if you ask students, especially from the accounting students, generally students have the understanding that KPMG is an audit firm, right? But today we offer a lot more than just being an audit firm, right? We are known as a professional services firm. If you look into the audit service line as well, it has a couple of interesting departments. Apart from just the financial audit, right? So we have the audit and assurance that looks into the areas of financial audit. We have enterprise enterprise management that looks into the areas of SMEs, like small medium enterprises. We have actuarial services. We have information risk management, which is a growing industry, especially in the areas of IT audit. And we are actively hiring. Yeah. So if you are a fresh graduate, perhaps you're completing your studies really soon, you can always submit your CVs to our ambassadors, and we'll be able to consider you for a graduate position. Then we have the data analytics team, yeah, in KPMG. Today in KPMG, we talk a lot about the future careers of accountants going into data analytics, yeah, and how important is it for us to ensure that we are resilient and especially in the areas of usage of Microsoft Power BI. How do you deliver reports in using Power BI as well? Then with the audit centralization team, and finally will be the Department of Professional Practice to ensure that all our auditors are fully equipped with the latest industry knowledge. It could be the change of regulations, the accounting standards. And then we have the tax department in KPMG, where we do hire, apart from just the accounting students, we also hire students with legal background. We also hire students with the economics background who intends to become a future tax professional, especially to become a tax consultant at KPMG Malaysia. Then moving on to the advisory function, if you realize one thing, the advisory service line is pretty diverse, right? In the sense that it offers a range of services from technology consulting to strategy and operations, financial management, internal audit. We also have governance and sustainability, corporate finance, or even restructuring. So there are a lot of opportunities, and it offers you a wide range of services as well. Then moving on to the business support function, yeah. So this is where it's also very, very interesting. If you are a student and you don't want to join the audit, tax and advisory, the business support function is also actively hiring, where we have the PPC department, right? So in KPMG, like what Mr. Chi Kyong said earlier, it's the people, right, that will motivate you to deliver, right? Because of the culture is different, and that is why we don't call ourselves the HR department. We call ourselves the people performance and culture, right? You know, the ITS department, that is our internal IT support team that will ensure that whatever investments that the firm has actually been doing in the areas of technology is being materialized, and today we are able to work from home seamlessly without any interruptions. Yeah. And then we have the growth department, the finance department, the admin department, the KPMG business school, and then also the risk management department. So the KPMG business school is referred to the learning and development team in KPMG. So earlier Mr. Chikyong did mention about ACCA. So in KPMG, we actually sponsor ACCA, ICAW, MIGPA Cairns, and also CPA Australia. So it all depends on which professional paper that you would like to pursue, and we'll be more than happy to have you and also to sponsor you your professional papers when you actually join the firm as a permanent hire. And then we have the risk management department, yeah, where today it's a pretty interesting department, because what we do is a lot of compliance, a lot of risk management policies to ensure that everything that we do in the firm is also in compliance with our global practices as well. So and today I'm also actively hiring. Yeah, just yesterday I was talking to one of the candidates who has a 6 years of being a lawyer, right? And we are also looking to have a part of the firm, right? So that's the difference being in KPMG. We do hire students with diverse experiences. We hire candidates, experienced hires with diverse experiences, and in how they could actually further add value into the firm. Then we have the clientele, right? And this is the beauty, and this is an added advantage, and one of the selling points of being in KPMG. If you were to go into the audit service line, we do not classify our departments according to the industry, but rather you are given the opportunity to explore different industries during your tenure in KPMG, right? If you come in for a 6 months internship, you'll probably be involved in 2 different industries. And that gives you an added advantage. It also helps you in terms of your resume and also your profile as well on LinkedIn, right? And then what we do as part of my team, right, being the talent attraction and branding team, we do future proofing workshops, right? So this is a commitment that we have to empower students, to inspire confidence and empower change, right? And what we want to do is to continuously share industry insights with students, right? If you look into some of the future proofing workshops, we talk about agility mindset, talk about becoming a team player, exploring career characteristics, grooming and personal branding, right? Think fast, talk smart, communication one-on-one, introverts guide to a networking and building confidence, right? And if you look into some of the screenshots on the right, we have our leaders who are very supportive when it comes to sharing their insights with students as well. We have our COO in the first picture. We have our head of digital banking, Sinyi. We also have Adrian Lee. We also have our partner in audit as well, that was also sharing her experiences with the TAR UC students, Yi King as well. So my question to students is back to the first question that I asked you is, do you have a story to sell, and are you the one, right? Especially with this current pandemic, it's very, very important for graduates to know on how they need to stand out among the sea of talents, right? And what are the factors that they need to consider, right? And if you, one thing that you realize is, based on the points that I've actually shared here today, in creating your identity, in creating a good resume that represents yourself, in establishing your online presence, personal branding, professional grooming is something that we do. We guide students every week on different topics. And then we also ensure that students are well prepared, right? If you can come into campus, we will also do very interesting personal grooming, where we bring Dorothy Perkins clothing line, right, into the university, right? And then we also provide you with vouchers as well, right? We have the business communication, where we encourage students to stand up, right, to speak up and to share your insights, to be curious, to ask questions, and most importantly is to stay up to date with the current progress and phenomena, right? Especially with the current industry that is so competitive, and it requires you to be more resilient. And why is it that you need to have good communication skills? You need to be able to have good negotiating skills, and especially when you're dealing especially when you're in a client servicing environment, it's pretty challenging, but at the same time you have a steep learning curve. Then we have the mindset, right? I think agility is something that you would have heard a couple of times last year when there was a transition from studying physically and then going into virtually studying as well. So this is where you need to develop your skill sets. You have all the time now, apart from just your classes. To me, I save 2 hours in a day, right? 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, right? Traveling to office, right? So you have an additional 2 hours in a day. And especially when you're traveling for your classes, right? And that allows you to do a lot more than just attending classes today. Then you're becoming a team player where it's all about working collaboratively today in the industry, right? And how you can actually work together with your team in order for you to achieve a common goal. And then lastly is to be an all-rounder, is to be the person that is technologically savvy, and is to be the person and to be the clear choice that and to be working with people who probably does not know you, but at the same time that to be able to deliver solutions as well. So what do you consider, right? There are two areas. One is in the areas of self-focus, very, very important when you look out for a career. And second one is in the areas of external community, right? I think most importantly, when you look out for career, my personal advice to you is to understand your capabilities, right? To know that which industries that you intend to join. Is it because the industry is growing rapidly? Is it because they have something that is relevant to what you've studied? Or perhaps you feel that you want to continuously develop your interest in that specific industry, right? So this is where you got to identify your interests, identify modules that you've been performing really well in your university and how you could leverage on that information to pursue your career as well. And then you got to match your strengths, right? What are the strengths that you have? And it could be even introduction of yourself, right? If someone is going to interview you tomorrow and ask you, can you tell me about yourself? How are you going to answer, right? Are you going to highlight some of your strengths, some of your success stories, and also provide them a situation? Next is being open-minded, right? You should always tell yourself that you want to have a growth mindset to continuously develop yourself so that you're well prepared for the industry. Find a mentor. This is something that you could even do at this point of time where you can actually be speaking to your seniors who are working for firms that you intend to join, right? And to gain some advice from them to understand the expectations of a student. And lastly is in the area of networking. This is something that I really want students to leverage on. Today, if you are able to have conversations with leaders of different industries just to gain some knowledge from them and to understand on the expectation, that's very, very important to understand on how technology is going to influence your work in the near future and how you can start from now to prepare yourself for your near future as well. Today we are talking about a lot about technology, right? And how even as a partner in KPMG, Chi Kyong, who have mentioned earlier, where he did mention about artificial intelligence, talking about data analytics, and then how everyone in the firm is continuously adapting to this technology and to incorporate this technology as part of our processes. It's not going to take over the roles, but rather it's going to make your work easier, especially if there's any redundant work in the areas of administrative. And even as an auditor, there will be judgment calls involved, right? And especially if the robots are unable to make such a judgment call, do having that emotional intelligence as well. So it's very, very important for you to stay relevant, all right, to take up to understand about different technologies, right? We're not asking you to be an expert, but rather to understand the technology per se, and then come into the firm and we will be able to actually mentor you closely. So I'd like to also share with you about the new technology that we have in KPMG. This is a video taken in our KPMG London office. We're talking about our new technology called the KPMG Clara. Today, when we audit clients, we are already using the cloud computing services where our clients are able to store documents in the cloud, right? And we are able to access it from the firm as well. So this is a technology that we are currently working on, and it will be rolled out by next year. So enjoy the video.
Lucy. Hello. Hi, Hitesh. I've raised the issue that KPMG Clara identified overnight with the Lacuna CEO, Charles Callan. He agreed something's not right and we need to investigate.
Oh, does he think there's a risk?
He's certainly concerned. He feels like sales growth in New Zealand may not be sustainable.
Okay, well, I'll look into it and then I'll get Clara on it as well.
Okay, great. Sounds good. I'm heading into the office now, so I'll catch up with you when I'm in.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Hello, Hitesh. How are you today?
It's about to get very busy, Clara. Okay, so we need to do an analysis on the risk you flagged overnight on Lacuna's New Zealand subsidiary. So can we pull all of this data together, please, so that I can assess and make a file note? Okay, so let's start with financial and employee data, brand and market metrics.
Then benchmark against the wider group's data?
Oh yes, and peer companies. Clara, can we just expand on these figures here, please? So this seems to suggest that there's a fraud underway and that they're misrepresenting sales in New Zealand. I think we need to brief this in.
I'll set up a meeting with Charles and Lucy.
So, as you can see, sales have grown 20% in a stable market, customer dissatisfaction is a growing social media trend, and people attrition is up 40%, particularly in finance and customer support.
It doesn't look good. I'll need to notify the board. But please go ahead and organise a deeper dive as part of the ongoing audit.
Will do. We need to assess the situation on the ground. I'm going to send in our fleet of drones to review activity. And Charles, I'll need to conduct interviews with key executives.
I'll arrange that now. And thank you.
Okay, so I'll get on to those interviews. And Clara, once they're done, can you review the data and drone footage overnight?
Of course.
Hitesh, can you reach out to Laura Schmidt, our fraud specialist, and get her to help identifying the extent of the fraud and who else may be involved? And Clara, can you review all communications, emails, instant messages, any relevant documentation, and pass it on to Laura as soon as it's done?
Uploading data now.
Let's catch up in the morning, once Clara's processed the information.
Okay, no problem. I'll see you there. Morning.
Morning, what have you found?
Well, our drones can see that inventory isn't correlating with their claimed customer orders. So sales are being booked, then fraudulently reversed to bolster performance. And Clara, there are signs that it isn't just the sales teams that are involved when the fraud occurs. Is that correct?
Yes. Consistent leaving times, coded email language, and how they behaved in their interviews. There are clear correlations.
We have a significant fraud. I'll get in touch with Charles. This could be a big exposure for Lacuna.
Well, at least the board can proactively deal with it now. Clara, can you model the financial implications to give Lacuna a prediction as to where this leads them?
Of course. Uploading data now.
So, in conclusion, without additional capital, our team predicts the New Zealand business would not be a going concern, particularly now as it has a bank covenant issue.
Okay. Lots to think about. Thank you, Lucy, Hitesh, for identifying this and your prompt action.
So part of our global initiative, we wanted to ensure that students are on the track of being resilient and taking up a practice in the areas of data analytics, right? And having an understanding of the fundamentals of data analytics. Hence why we have this virtual internship platform. It's more like an assignment that's given by Kpmg Malaysia and then by KPMG Global, and you can actually take this up at your own pace. It will take you approximately 5 to 6 hours to complete if you do all the 3 modules in the same time, right? If you're not, you can actually take it at your own free time, right? It's free. It's open to all backgrounds. There's a video instruction for you to watch. You can complete the task and upload to the work platform, and you can also compare your work with the KPMG model answers. Right? So do take this opportunity. If you check out my LinkedIn profile, a lot of students have actually taken up this practice, and they've actually tagged us on LinkedIn. And it's essentially, it gives you an understanding of the data analytics industry. Then with the tax virtual internship, right? And most times when you come in from an accounting background, students tend to have the confusion of whether I would like to pursue my career in tax or should I go into audit, right? So this is a practice that you can actually take up, do it at your own pace. You can discover if this career is something that you would like to do, make your CV and LinkedIn stand out by completing this virtual internship. So part of our initiative of being the clear choice among students, we have the signature programs that we offer to students, right? And every year we try our level best to come up with more programs to ensure that we deliver accordingly as well. So we have the ACE advisory program that gives a rotational program in the advisory service line. Kpmg was one of the first firms that actually created a rotational program in the consulting arm. Most firms do not offer you a rotation. And then we have the Kpmg ambassadorship program, which we are very happy to have UKM part of the ambassadorship family. We have the tax trackers program that today, as a fresh graduate, you are able to take up a rotation within the tax service line, and you can get a 6 months rotation. Yeah, so 3 months in transfer pricing. You can choose your departments. You will also be mentored by our firm tax partner. You get dedicated mentorship. First and exposure, and you get to pursue the tax professional paper, which is CTIM, that is fully supported by KPMG Malaysia. Then we also have the ASEAN Scholarship Program. Yeah, so every year we will identify ASEAN scholars from different universities, and we will normally choose at least 6 to 7 candidates and they get a chance to become an ASEAN scholar, where apart from just supporting them financially, we actually give the opportunity for our students to actually do an internship abroad in any of the ASEAN countries based on their choice, which is fully supported by KPMG. So earlier, Mr. Chi Kyong did mention about his experiences being part of the GO program, where he was seconded into our Chicago office. Yeah, so KPMG offers a GO program for our employees, where you can be seconded to any of these countries for a period of 3 months, 6 months, or even up to even 24 months. Then we have the Eco Dive program, which is part of our CSR initiative. And what we do is we give students the opportunity to be involved in some of the CSR initiative, and then this allows you to be able to understand better about the eco dive, and then you can actually not do financial audit, but rather to do underwater audit of the coral reefs. So these are some of the CSR activities that we have had in the past. And what we do is we focus on 4 pillars, right? From education, environment, youth, and community. There are lots of interesting programs. Earlier, Mr. Chi Kyong did mention about the IAFG Inter-Accounting Firm Games, which is a pretty interesting program that we had. And we hopefully we are able to implement that at least next year, right? If it's not this year as well. And what happened last year was, apart from just having the tower run, so every year we have the KPMG tower run, where you can either do a marathon around Bandar Utama, or perhaps you can run about 11 kilometers, and you can actually climb up 11 flights of staircase, right? And that's why it's called a tower run. Last year we had to do it differently, right? So we had the KPMG virtual charity run, where we also had students who participate in this run. Is fully managed by KPMG and also BookDot, right? And then what we did is we actually had this 1 month duration in order for you to clock in that 150,000 steps. And just to let you know, some of our leaders, yeah, even our managing partner, Dr. Johan, he clocked in about 310,000 steps, yeah. And as a leader as well, they set the example in how employees can actually to also participate in such of an activity, and to encourage students to also be participating as well. So what we also do is to reward extraordinary talent. So earlier I did mention about sponsoring the professional papers, right? And part of our professional papers, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Anil.
Okay, yeah. So what we do is we actually sponsor professional papers, and part of our initiative for sponsoring the students to pursue their professional papers, we also have mentoring involved, right? So where we have partners who are members of that professional bodies, and they will be mentoring them closely. And if at all our associates have been performing really well and they've achieved the gold medal award, KPMG will also be rewarding them with a cash prize as well. And these are some of the examples and the events that we've been doing over a period of time, right? And we work consistently. Our commitment towards the university to develop students, to inspire confidence in students will continue, and we will offer students these kind of opportunities as well. And also to share with you some of our awards and accolades in 2020, although it was a challenging year for every one of us, but KPMG managed to attain the Best Consulting Award, in the whole of Malaysia, while remaining as a top 3 in and finance. As for the CSR Malaysia Award, we are for 4 consecutive years we've been a champion. And as for the M100 top 100 graduate leading employers, KPMG Malaysia has been ranked number 4 out of top 100 graduate leading employers, and we are also in top 3 in 2 categories, which is the accounting and professional services, and also the consulting industry as well. So what I also wanted to share with you, a quick video before we move on to the Q&A session, is talking about our people and that they are our assets in the firm, right? So we embrace differences together. We may be working in different countries, but we all believe that we are all united with our KPMG values, right? And this is to show you that how leaders in the firm, right? Even Chi Kyong being a partner, he's very friendly. You're able to have a conversation with him to share, to understand his experiences, his insights, right? And this will continue. This journey will continue, and how we all can be in different countries, but we are all united. 2 days ago, I was on a training with our global office. We had recruiters from at least 60 over KPMG offices as well, that as was together, right? All learning together, and we all improve together. We are all united with our KPMG values. So do enjoy the last video on our KPMG values.
欢迎加入 KPMG， 你加入的是亚太区，你现在有可能在中国。
Or are you in Australia? Good day.
Atau mungkin Indonesia. Hai.
Japanからこんにちは.
KPMG 코리아 입사를 축하합니다.
Selamat datang ke Malaysia.
Are you joining us here in Aotearoa, New Zealand?
O isa ka bang baguhan mula sa Pilipinas?
Or perhaps KPMG in Singapore.
大家好，欢迎加入 KPMG 台湾
มาทำงานกับพวกเราที่ประเทศไทยไหมครับดินแดนแห่งรอยยิ้มยินดีต้อนรับทุกคนครับ
None of those? Then you must be joining Vietnam and Cambodia. Xin chào. And a welcome to those joining the ASPAC team.
Wherever in ASPAC you're joining us,
you become part of the KPMG family.
We speak many languages
and work in different cities.
But we have one language in common.
Our KPMG values.
They unite us and guide us.
We will now hand over to our KPMG colleagues
to introduce our values in their own words.
Enjoy your time at KPMG.
And remember to live our values.
In every place, in every situation, every day.
We are all different.
We start our day in different ways.
50,000 people in the ASPAC region.
We work in different cities.
我哋鍾意唔同嘅事物。
But we are all united.
United by KPMG values.
我觉得 KPMG 的 values 更像是我们日常工作的一个 guiding principle.
Integrity. For me, this value is the core of our firm's operations.
Integrity は信頼の基礎です。
誠実に行動することで信頼を築き、次の成長機会につなげる。
That value pushes me to be a better version of myself.
Excellence. We never stop learning and improving.
Keunggulan adalah hasil dari selalu berusaha untuk melakukan yang lebih baik.
It's the drive to go beyond for our clients.
A passion and energy for client satisfaction in everything.
Courage. We think and act boldly.
Courage to me is the strength to move forward, even through any challenges, obstacles, or uncertainties.
រៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃយើងត្រូវមានភាពក្លាហានក្នុងការសម្រេចចិត្តថ្មីៗ មានចំណុចថ្មីៗ និងចេះចែករំលែកគំនិតថ្មីៗ
Dù đang lo lắng hay không biết phải làm gì, dũng cảm là có được sự tự tin để cố gắng.
Together, we respect each other.
and draw strengths from our differences.
Together, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Often the best work we do is when we have a diverse group of people coming together for one common goal.
Supporting each other in an inclusive and trusted environment.
It gives me the belief we can grow together.
더 좋은 사회를 위해서 우리는 뭐든 합니다.
It's pushing one's own limit and potential in order to consistently deliver top-notch output.
It's saying be the force for good.
KPMG 的价值观不仅能够帮助我们在当下的工作遇到问題時選擇最佳的處理方式，也能指導着我們着眼於未來。
ベストを尽くすための指針となるもの。
밸류는 내가 지독한 슬럼프에 빠졌을 때 나를 구원해주는 역할을 합니다.
It's about the culture that we want to foster across our firm in all our interactions.
Working together as a team.
Across teams, across cities, across countries.
Drawing from each other's expertise and driving success with our clients.
We are like a family.
There's transparency in everything we do.
A reminder of what is important to Kpmg and what is valued in the work.
Kpmg khuyến khích chúng tôi học hỏi, phát triển và tối ưu hóa tiềm năng của bản thân.
Sa tuloy-tuloy na pagbabahagi ng kumpiyansa.
Integrate it into your everyday work life.
Connect with colleagues from other locations.
与我的团队伙伴密切合作。
The people.
出色嘅同事。
Integrate it into your everyday work life.
Connect with colleagues from other locations.
与我的团队伙伴密切合作。
The people.
出色嘅同事。
When we're together as one, great things can be achieved.
Tại KPMG, tôi có cơ hội phát triển kỹ năng cá nhân và trình độ chuyên môn.
Collaboration.
All of these things are making us stronger together.
Aspect stronger together.
Aspect stronger together.
Aspect.
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 Stronger together.
Stronger together.
我哋一齊更強大。
Stronger together.
Aspect.
Stronger
Together.
So lastly, I'd like to share with you all, this is a QR code for the GCA Awards and the M100 Awards. And then we would like to hear your feedback, right, in order for us to further improve ourselves as for the GCA Awards and also the M100 Awards. And then we would like to hear your feedback on how we can actually improve and develop future programs for our dear students out there. And most importantly is for us to ensure that we stay relevant, right? And then we remain the clear choice among students. We are also very active on social media. We have our ambassadors who's also on social media. You can actually check out their profile and we'd be more than happy to engage with you further. I'm also on LinkedIn. My name is Anil Nair. Can follow us on KPMG Malaysia's Instagram. This is the best platform for you to keep yourself updated with our future events, career opportunities, and how as a firm we can actually do better in terms of our internship experiences. You can actually watch the videos here in order for you to better understand the commitment that we have when it comes to driving excellence for students. So I'd like to open the floor to Q&A now. Over to you, MC. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Anil, for your inspiring talk. So now we will continue with the Q&A session. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question for our speaker, you may ask your question in the chat room or you can turn on your mic. So I think there's one question from Sari Nirwana on the chat box to Mr. Anil. If you can tell us how many fresh graduates will KPMG hire every year?
Right. So on a yearly basis, our fresh graduate hiring would range from 260 to about 300, and that's the number that we typically hire on a year-to-year basis. So it all depends, yeah. If you're looking in terms of the areas of technology. We are also actively hiring. There are different focuses. Even with this current pandemic, KPMG will continue its recruitment activities. There is no changes. In fact, maybe probably this year, we might be able to also hire more because there are different areas that we are focusing on when it comes to our client servicing environment as well.
All right, moving on the next question. Okay, so this is from myself. In your opinion, why should students who want to pursue an auditing field choose KPMG as their first choice?
Right. I cannot tell you to choose KPMG, but mainly like what I've mentioned earlier, based on my experiences, based on Chi Kyung's experiences, and I think Chi Kyung would be a great testament to the KPMG's culture. It's been his first career ever since he joined us as a fresh graduate up to a partner level in KPMG. It's possible, right? And we want to continue to inspire confidence and empower change in students. But it all depends on what are your career aspiration, right? If you come in from an accounting background, do you want to pursue a career in audit? Do you want to pursue a career in tax? Or do you want to look into other areas as well that you could further develop yourself? But to me, it's important for you to identify a firm that can offer you an opportunity to be seconded, right? To gain different experiences, to understand different culture. Supportive leaders is also important. And at the same time, you are able to take up different projects within your tenure in KPMG. And most importantly is to develop your career, right? To have a very structured career progression so that you are able to achieve your career aspirations as well.
All right, thank you for the good answer. Okay, move on. The next question from Zulai Zaid. What are the skills that employer look for, especially from the fresh grads who haven't taken the professional paper yet? Is there any tips on how to ace the interview?
Okay, that's a great question, right? So if you come in from an accounting background and you want to pursue your career in audit, right, and you do not have a professional paper, it's fine, right? You can still join the firm, right? The only difference is you're going to take your professional paper when you pursue your career in audit or tax, right? But then again, I also would like to ask you, right? If you think that because you see, in audit, there will be peak periods, and most importantly is time management, right? And considering the current situation, you are required to work from home. You can come into the office if it's necessary, but most importantly is your time management skills. Your project management skills is important, and how you can actually articulate your interests in a specific area, right? If you mentioned that you would like to go into audit, there must be a reason why you like to pursue a career in audit. It shouldn't be an influence by your parents or your peers, but rather you should have a goal, right? And on what are you trying, on what do you intend to achieve within the next few years? Because let me tell you one thing, when you go into the big four, it's a very steep learning curve, right? And every single day in your career you will be learning something new, right? And it could be from your colleagues, it could be from the leaders in the firm, it could be change of processes, or the advancement of technology, right? And this is where you need to stay resilient. You need to adapt to the current situation, be agile, and most importantly is to be curious, right? If you're not sure of something, it's okay for you to raise your hands, right? To ask questions. And I think that could potentially avoid any pitfalls, and you can also learn, right? Enhance your learning curve, and to further add value to your team as well.
All right. Next question. Okay. Hi, Mr. Anil. What are the requirements that KPMG looking for from the interns?
Okay, we do have our basic requirements when it comes to internship in the areas of academics. We look at a minimum CGPA of 3.2. We look at a good balance of your academics and also your co-curriculum participation, where we want to see leaders of societies, right? We want to see your journey, like what Chikyong mentioned earlier, right? You need to enjoy your journey in university, right? And I truly feel that university days will be the best days of your life, right? And this is where you can actually be leveraging on different experiences, right? When I was studying in campus, I used to be very active in the university. I was the president of the Business Student Association. I was the founder, in fact, of that particular society. I used to engage with a lot of industry people just so that I can build my profile earlier, right? And to establish the online presence to ensure that I stay relevant to the industry. I used to do something part-time. I was a property negotiator, right? It all depends on what do you intend to achieve. If you're going to say that, okay, studying degree is going to be challenging and I do not have the time, trust me, it's going to be difficult, right? You have a very difficult route ahead, I think you need to improve yourself and how do you manage your time. I used to wake up in the morning, right, before a month before exams, at least 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning. I study before going into classes, just to ensure that I'm well prepared for the module.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Anil. So next is, what is the requirement to get sponsorship from Kpmg for professional paper?
Okay, so Afika, if you intend to join us in KPMG, so it all depends. So we look at the minimum requirements, right? The CGPAs, the academic qualification, so you need to have an accounting degree because otherwise you'll be losing out in terms of your exemptions. But we can advise you, right, on which professional paper to take up. We need to hear on what do you have to say, right? And then that is where we can actually recommend to you. But that does not stop you from taking professional papers, right? The requirements would be the same as much as we hire students as fresh graduates. The only difference is we give you the option to choose your professional paper, and definitely it comes with a bond, right? So it's a 4-year bond, and it all depends on if you have completed a few papers in campus, then you only have a few remaining, then we will be reducing the bond, right? But ultimately, has to be consistent results from your degree in order for you to take up a specific professional paper, because different every professional paper is unique, right? And it has and it all depends on what are you trying to achieve, and which pathway that you would like to go into, right? And not to worry, we do sponsor all our associates at joint audit and tax. If you are part of the student, if you are currently in your first or second year, we do have a program called the Student Sponsorship Program, SSP, where we work closely with MIGPA. And if you intend to be part of that program, you can always drop me an email. You can reach out to our ambassadors, and I'll be more than happy to explain to you further.
All right.
Okay. Any further questions?
Hi, Mr. Anil.
Hi.
Okay, I'm Tini. I'm a third-year student. So I want to ask you a question. In your point of view, what kind of soft skills do graduates need to have to compete with 1,000 of chartered accountants?
Right.
What do you think about that?
Okay, so soft skills, I think ultimately you need to be well prepared as an individual, right? Firms today are looking for an all-rounder. In KPMG, I always tell students that you can have a CGPA of 3.9, right? But if you're unable to articulate your interests, if you do not have good communication skills, you do not have decision-making skills. That is why we encourage students to be involved in various leadership positions in campus, and that's the time where you learn, right? You encounter difficult situations, you discuss among your team members in order for you to solve the situation, right? Also, we look into the areas of grooming, right? Professional branding. How do you brand yourself in the industry, right? Online presence is important, right? When it comes to professionalism, right? How professional you are as a candidate, and these are essential skills, right? And I would say the survival skills when you go into the industry, right? The corporate firm, and it's a challenging route ahead, but then again. it all depends. If you think that you would like to upskill yourself apart from just having a degree and having soft skills, it's highly encouraged, right? And I think apart from just having soft skills, the understanding of technology and and how technology can actually impact your work in the near future is an essential skill today, and I think most companies will be looking for as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Daniel.
No problem.
All right.
All right, I think that's it for the Q&A session. Thank you to all who have asked a very good question, and thanks a million to our speaker for a very thorough and helpful explanation. So ladies and gentlemen, so we are waiting for voting code. I hope everyone can be patient. All right. So here, there's a vote code from Kpmg for the best employees brand on the screen right now. You can vote for them to show your support for the company. So I will let a few seconds for you all to scan the code, okay? All right. I hope all of you voted for Kpmg. If haven't or somehow missed doing so, you may get the link from our Telegram group, Accounting Week 2021, because we have sent it there. So before we end this slot, we would like to request the honorable guest to join our photography session. So to all of you, you may turn on the camera.
Okay, so I'll take the picture twice. Get ready, guys. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for having me on the call. I do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed both the sessions today from Kpmg Malaysia. If you would like to post anything up, you can always tag myself. You can tag Kpmg Malaysia, and most importantly, keep in touch. Right, stay in touch with Kpmg Malaysia. Follow our Instagram page. Trust me, every single day we will have an update, right? And there will not be there will be a lot of other upcoming videos on Instagram, fun videos, I'm sure, and you can actually stay in touch. Thank you very much, and thank you, ambassadors. Thank you, the Accounting Society, for the invitation as well.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a link in the chat box for you to fill in as a feedback to Kpmg. I hope all of you can fill in right now. All right, in closing, may I sincerely thank you to Mr. Anil for joining us this evening, which has resulted in future possibilities for fruitful collaboration. Also, thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. So based on today's session, hope all of us can take notes on the most important thing or topic that I know affects all of us here, and also hope we can make a good decision in our future. So just take as many deep breaths as you need to, and don't worry, plan your future as best as you can. And to all students this evening, hope we have gained as much input as possible, and I know you guys enjoyed today as I am. So the session is finished, of course, but it doesn't really stop here, and it will soon be time to be thinking about organizing the next one. For Mr. Anil, the token appreciation will be sent to your company. We will look forward to seeing at the next year's event.
Sure. Take care, everybody. Stay in touch. Stay safe, most importantly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope to see you again. Stay safe wherever you are. And for our guests, again, we are very, very thankful to have you here and for your sharing also the details information about KPMG already opened our mind to plan about our future in this path. All right, to Mr. Anil, you may leave this session. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you, Mr. Anil.
No
Thank you, Mr.
problem.
Anil.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Mr.
Bye.
Anil.
Thank you, Mr. Anil.
All right, attention for students. Before you leave this session, this is the last code that all of you need to enter the link in the chat box. And for tomorrow's event, the next ACW slot is a talk session with Encik Fizri bin Maid Fauzi and Encik Azizi bin Mamat from Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri, LHDN. It will be starting at 10 a.m. so don't miss out and remember to tune into our session. Thank you and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Sakina.
Okay. Alright, this channel will end soon. Thank you everyone for joining us today. You may leave now. See you tomorrow.